So next up, we've got 10 rounds for the WBA Asia minimum weight title. Making his way to the ring now is Jeplex Quirante of the Philippines. 6 fights and 6 wins. Difficult, honestly, to take too much from that record, because you look at it and those fights have been against novices and away corner fighters. But that's no great surprise. Your first 6 fights of a pro career, you're not necessarily going to be matched that tough. And his last fight was a first round knockout in July against Ramak Antaran. And this is his first fight outside of the Philippines.
И его соперник, который прямо сейчас займет золотой угол ринга. Дамы и господа, приветствуйте из Златоуста, Челябинская область, Россия, Edmond Khudoyan!
And on his way in now, Edmond Khudoyan, another member of that tremendously successful Russian team from the World Championships in Dubai, and he's been competing at top level in IBA boxing for a long time now. I remember seeing him get disqualified in the World Championships of 2021 in the prelims for continually dipping low at the waist. He couldn't quite believe what had happened to him that day, but since then things have been on an upward trajectory. A bronze at the Worlds in 2023, a gold at the Europeans the year after, and then in December, a silver at the World Championships, losing to Subhan Mamedov of Azerbaijan. He's 2-0 in IBA.PRO. A good win against Timurtash Yusupov over 5 rounds, and then over 8 against Daniel Valadares. So he hasn't done the 10-round distance, but neither is his opponent. And I'll be really interested to see what we get from Quirante. They've got so many good fighters at the lower weights in the Philippines. We were over there in Manila for the 50th anniversary of Ali Frazier 3, and we saw some terrific fights. Very well supported event. It's enormously popular in the Philippines boxing. All combat sports are. So Quirante's record may not tell us very much, as I said, but that does not mean that he cannot fight.
Дамы и господа, это третий бой вечера. Нас ожидают 10 раундов бокса за титул чемпиона WBA Asia в минимальном весе. Для участников этого титульного поединка звучат национальные гимны их стран. И первым звучит гимн Филиппин. Дамы и господа, звучит государственный гимн Российской Федерации. Итак, дамы и господа, представляю соперников и первым боксера в черном углу. Ему 25 лет, рост 159 сантиметров, официальный вес 46,6 килограмма. Он не знает поражений с рекордом 6 боев, 6 побед, 3 из них нокаутом и носит прозвище «Глушитель». Дамы и господа, представляющий Фортич Филиппины, Jeplex Quirante. Его сопернику напротив, в золотом углу ринга, 29 лет, рост 160 сантиметров, вес 47,6 килограмма. Сегодня он проводит первый профессиональный бой, но за его плечами невероятная любительская карьера. Дамы и господа, шестикратный чемпион России, чемпион Европы, серебряный и бронзовый призер чемпионатов мира и Златоуста, Челябинская область, Россия, Эдмонд Khudoyan. Рефери боя Дмитрий Болдырев, Россия.
Gentlemen, listen to my command, follow the rules.
So 10 rounds or fewer here for the WBA Asia minimum weight title. Edmond Khudoyan in the white, Jeplex Quirante in the black. And the arena filling up nicely. And two orthodox fighters here. Khudoyan switching early on there into the southpaw stance. Just looking to try and find that range early on. Right hand into the body there from Khudoyan, who physically is the bigger of these two. Both have made the minimum weight limit of 7.5 stone, 105 pounds, which for those of us a bit bigger than that seems absolutely impossible. Khudoyan, you look at the size of the back on him there, has put on a reasonable amount of weight, you would say, since that weigh-in. Certainly more than his opponent. And he's dictating terms here early on. Good combination came back there though from Quirante. The gloves were up from Khudoyan, but it gave him something to think about, and then a couple into the body as well from the Filipino. Aimed a big right hand there, Quirante, but it's no bad thing, I don't think, because what he can't do is allow Khudoyan to settle into a rhythm here and get on top of him early, and he hasn't done that. Good example there, just punching his way off the ropes, just steps in. Khudoyan's managed to avoid those shots pretty comfortably, but it's the intent, it's what it says about Quirante is here to do, that will just give him something to think about. Left hand into the body there from Khudoyan. And this is warming up nicely towards the end of round one.
Seconds.
Good right hand to the body there from Khudoyan. Second round here, they're scheduled for 10. And Khudoyan looking to try and move in behind that jab again. Quirante well set up. He's got those gloves up in position, that right hand cocked and ready to go most of the time. You don't really see Quirante use the jab too often. He's just backing up there, just giving himself the space, and then he'll look to come back with that right hand. He did it a couple of times there, didn't quite manage to land it, but that's what he's looking to do. He's got that right hand, as I say, in place, cocked, ready to go. Moved in behind a left hand there, but there was nothing really on that lead hand. Khudoyan, I think, just needs to keep him busy with the jab. And look out for that right hand, be aware of it, because that's the punch that he goes for. Good combination there from Khudoyan. The left hand up top got through, and then a left hand into the body. Drew some applause from the crowd. Again, just steps in and looks for that right hand there, Quirante, just as Khudoyan was coming forward. Long left to the body there from Khudoyan. Good left up top there as well. He was skirting away to his right hand side there, Quirante. He thought he got away, I think. He felt he was out of range, and then he just stepped across Khudoyan and managed to collect him on the end of that left hand. And again there, just got through with a couple. And this is a good, strong finish to the round if he can keep this up here, the Russian fighter. Goes downstairs into the pit of the stomach. That was a decent shot. I wouldn't say he's necessarily put a dent in Quirante here, but he's landed some good solid punches right at the end of this round. That left hand looks a little bit low. The referee had a good look at it. There's that left hand landing again. That was the combination there from Khudoyan. Left to the body, left up top, and then after that, the right left. So into the third. Khudoyan's taken those opening 2 rounds. Good final minute to round 2 from the Russian. Just shaping, looking to see if he can judge the distance. Quirante is backed up there, but he's giving that ground. He's not really being driven back, and Khudoyan's just slightly wary because he knows that he's happy to give the ground Quirante because he's looking to do that. Let that big right hand go. Just sling it over the top like he did there, or shoot it a little bit flatter and straighter, but generally he'll throw it over the top. That's his plan here. He steps in there and behind the lead hand throws that right. But the one that he feels he can really do damage with, I think, is that overhand right. And when he pulls the trigger on it, it is a potentially dangerous shot.
Stop. Box.
And Khudoyan just trying to get after Quirante there. Quirante, I think, had just lost balance slightly. Khudoyan caused that and had lost his own balance, I think, as he came forward. He went over the top of that front foot, really committed to it, though, and kept pursuing his man and made things a little bit uncomfortable there for Quirante, but because his own equilibrium had gone, really, found it difficult to land as he was coming forward. Deep into the final minute of round 3. Looking for the combination there, Khudoyan. The right hand came firing back there from Quirante, and it wasn't far away. The left wasn't far away from Khudoyan either. And if they mix it at that kind of range, that's when this is going to get interesting. Nice body attack there from Khudoyan. And he is naturally aggressive. You can tell he doesn't really want to keep this on the outside. He could, because he's a taller of the two. He's got the greater height and the reach that comes with it. But he doesn't want to do that. By nature, it's not his inclination. And that was where he just lost his balance a little bit, Khudoyan, as he came forward. But you could see the motivation there. You could see the intent.
Четвертый раунд.
Стоп. Бутылку берите. Бокс.
Just gets a jab away to the stomach there, Khudoyan. I think there's maybe some water on the canvas in the corner, and the referee just wants to get that toweled away if possible. Again, he just dips those knees, throws the jab into the body there, Khudoyan, and he can keep doing that all night, and he can win the fight doing that, but he doesn't want to do that. And for those of us watching, I think that's a good thing, because that would make for a fairly dull spectacle. There's that right hand, that hair trigger right hand. He's not come that close to landing it, Quirante, but he'll keep believing in it, that's for sure. And again, he throws it there. That one was closer to getting through, kind of half blocked, I think, really, by Khudoyan. And he's got the confidence of an undefeated fighter here, Quirante. Okay, he hasn't really boxed anybody, but he doesn't know what it's like to lose. And there's enough happening in there to encourage him. Left hand got through there from Khudoyan. Good defence to the right hand that came back inevitably from the Filipino. Trying to step in behind that left hand there, Khudoyan. Into the final 30 seconds of round 4.
Пятый раунд.
He switched between stances pretty seamlessly so far in this fight. Khudoyan has never really done it in a dangerous position where he's looked like he might get himself into trouble. And Quirante is just sticking to his task here. When he throws that right hand, sometimes that right foot comes forward and round as it did that time, rather than staying clamped to the canvas. But for the most part, that shape, that balance is fairly good. And for Khudoyan, you know where the danger is. You know what the danger is in terms of what he's going to throw Quirante. It's that right hand. Good defensive work there from Khudoyan. Walked onto a jab though as he looked to come forward there. And come the end of this round, we'll be at the halfway stage, and Khudoyan is banking these rounds. But it's a competitive fight. Quirante is having his say. Good use of the jab there from Khudoyan. Nice body work. And then retreats as Quirante is trying to beckon him in. Right hook to the top of the head there from Khudoyan. I think might be well advised to go down to the body a little bit more. The referee just telling him off for using that lead glove as an obstruction. Some referees don't like that. They feel that you're just using it to try and block the vision of your opponent. Personally, I feel like anything really is fair game. It's not a foul as such. Some referees will pull fighters up on that, others won't. That left into the body was a good shot there from Khudoyan. So at the midway stage, the Russian is in a healthy lead here.
Секунданты за ринг. 6-й раунд.
Again, just goes up, or looked like he was going to with the jab, and then went down into the pit of the stomach, and that body is on offer a lot of the time. You look at that guard, those gloves are held quite high there by Quirante. Maybe that body work could bear fruit in the second half of the fight here for Khudoyan, but fighters at this weight are generally expecting to go the distance. If a stoppage comes, then a stoppage comes, but it's not something that they obsess about. He felt that was low, Quirante. And it seems to have riled him up a little bit, maybe, as he steps in and looks to try and throw his own right to the body. And these two just engaging at close quarters a little bit more, which Quirante will certainly feel suits him, but I don't think will be something that Khudoyan will be especially unhappy with. And certainly for the spectators, it would be good to see them mix it at that closer range a bit more. Into the final minute of round 6. Little tip-tap and then a heavier shot to the body, just sinking in that left hand there, Khudoyan. Good right to the body there from Khudoyan, and then goes up to the head. Quirante trying to get onto the front foot this round, trying to make something happen. I think he knows that he needs to start winning rounds here, because at halfway he could quite easily be 5-0 down, and it's not that he hasn't put plenty into this, because he has, but if he wants to win this fight, then he needs to work that bit harder and try and take the initiative away from Khudoyan, and I think we saw him try to do that in the second half of the round there.
Седьмой раунд.
Timing.
And Quirante again just looking to try and step into the centre of the ring here. And I think this is more what we're going to see in the fight, because up until this point, certainly in those first 5 rounds, we saw him give that ground, willing enough to give that ground, get backed up to the ropes, and then look to just fling in that big overhand right. But I think he realises that he's got to try and change the play here. And it's Khudoyan. He finds himself feeling those ropes on his back. And this might suit him. It could well suit him to have an opponent coming onto him rather than him being the one who has to do the hunting. That's good movement from Khudoyan. Good upper body movement. Just hinging at the waist. Stepping around that front foot. And that's what he likes to do at times, Khudoyan. He's just tip-tapping, keeping his opponent occupied, and then he'll look to try and sink that final punch in. Didn't do it there, but we've seen that a few times from him. Good combination there. Lovely fast hands from Khudoyan. And it was that final punch that you saw just shudder the jaw there slightly of Quirante. Good use of the jab there. The second one just making its way through the gut. Well-timed short right hand there from Khudoyan as Quirante came forward. He just doesn't quite have the craft or the guile, Quirante. It's quite basic his approach. It's quite obvious, I think, to Khudoyan what's coming his way. He hasn't been able to avoid it completely, but the Filipino fighter hasn't really managed to dress things up quite enough, I think, to set any traps that Khudoyan is likely to fall into. As I said at the start of the fight, a very, very experienced international amateur. So 3 to go this schedule for 10. The WBA Asia minimum weight title on the line. Good body work there from Quirante, and then went for the right up top as well, which did make contact. Bringing some good pressure here.
Выше голову.
Nice combination again there from Khudoyan into the final minute of round 8. And he's found a decent groove, the Russian, from fairly early in the fight. I think from about round 4, 5 onwards. He's just found that bit of fluidity. Nice turn around the front foot there. And Quirante, as I've been saying, has brought plenty of energy and industry to this. And he punches like he means it. Absolutely. And that might be part of the problem with him. Puts a bit too much on almost everything he throws, and Khudoyan, I think, has been able to read him fairly comfortably.
Девятый раунд.
Touch of gloves between the two. And I think we'll just see in this final 2 rounds what we've seen in the fight so far. There's no real need for Khudoyan to try and put his foot on the gas, especially because he's winning this fight, and it would be pointless at this stage to take any unnecessary risks. Quirante will keep bringing what he's been bringing, particularly since halfway, because the first half of the fight, it was Khudoyan who was mainly on the front foot. Quirante was giving that ground, looking to throw that right hand off the back foot. Since the 6th round, we've seen him try and take the centre of the ring more and dictate terms as best he can, because he would have known that the fight was slipping away from him. And he's done his best on that score. It's just been difficult for him really to land, and Khudoyan has found the gaps often enough. And in these situations, if you're the home fighter like Khudoyan is, you want to please the crowd, of course. You want to put on an eye-catching performance, but the most important thing is to win. At minimum weight, you can move into position for a world title shot pretty quickly. This gets him the WBA Asia title. May or may not get him a top 15 ranking. I suspect it probably will. It's possible to travel quickly in those lower weights, those very lower weights, because there aren't as many fighters down there, quite simply. The standard at the top is every bit as high as other divisions, but you can get to that world title level in fewer fights. Good combination, finishing on the left of the body there, Khudoyan, but he's still coming here, Quirante. Again, good quick hands there from Khudoyan. Denis Lebedev in the front row there, former world champion. I've seen Igor Makontsev as well, drifting around ringside. The last man to beat Alexander Usyk was Igor Makontsev in the 2009 World Championships.
Секунданты за ринг. Дамы и господа, финальный 10-й раунд.
So 10th and final round here. And Khudoyan really just needs to avoid getting knocked out, and he's going to win this fight. But I was talking earlier on about the matching and what the away corner brings, and I think Quirante can hold his head up very high here because he's only had the 6 pro fights. He hasn't got anything like the amateur background that Khudoyan has got. Those 6 pro fights, understandably, because they've been learning fights. Haven't seen him matched with anybody of any great ability. But here he's been up against a World Championship silver medalist, and he's given a decent account of himself. He's never been any trouble. Neither of these two at any stage have either have really hurt the other.
No wrestling, no wrestling.
Good use of the lead hand there from Khudoyan, who has just all round had a lot more variety. He's the more skillful fighter of the two. He can switch between the stances. He's got nice reach when he chooses to employ it. Goes down to the body, goes up to the head, turns around that front foot neatly. Good reflexes, hinges at the waist. He's got a lot to him. And big for the weight too. Good right hand off the back foot there from Khudoyan, and then a nice jab. A good combination, and he's looking to finish with some style here. Looks for the uppercut. Quirante keeps coming forward. Final minute of the fight. Looks for the straight left hand there, Khudoyan. Quirante, though, credit to him, doesn't take a backward step at any stage there. Lovely combination again there from Khudoyan. The right hand just cannoning off the side of the head there of Quirante, who still keeps swinging. Right up into the bell here. Khudoyan just catches him, he comes forward, and the bell goes, and Quirante holds those gloves aloft. He'll know that he's come out second best here, but as I said, he received the call, stepped up into the away corner, and there's plenty to like about him. And what was good was the way that he looked to try and change things from the halfway stage onward. He could easily have just boxed out the rounds there, tucked up, not looked to give anything away in the second half there, but he didn't do that. He chose to be aggressive. He chose to go in search of the win if he could. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see him again and this Russian crowd are giving him a good ovation. It's a good final round, particularly that last minute. And there you see him, Khudoyan, just kind of dressing things up a little bit, which is something that Quirante, at this stage of his career, isn't yet really able to do. He's quite Route 1, but he's got some toughness to him. And he's fit. He holds that shape pretty well. But you look at that from Khudoyan, that's lovely stuff. And just waiting for these two to be called to the centre. That WBA Asia belt will be awarded. And there it is, and you'd imagine the top 15 ranking will come with that.
Итак, дамы и господа, прежде чем прозвучит имя победителя, давайте поблагодарим обоих боксеров за этот ярчайший поединок. Итак, после 10 динамичных раундов бокса обратимся к судейским запискам. Судья 1 и судья 2 – 190. Судья 3 – 99-91. Таким образом, единогласным решением судей победу по очкам одержал и стал чемпионом WBA Asia в минимальном весе. И Златоуста Россия Эдмонд Khudoyan!
So Khudoyan gets it, as we expected he would, by unanimous decision, but it was a hard-earned victory. Quirante made him work there right from the very start of the fight, right up until the very end, and he was always looking for that big right hand, the Filipino, and he threw it with confidence, with belief, all the way through, but never really managed to land it. And Khudoyan, with the greater variety, just the greater all-round skill, would have taken that by wide margins on the cards, I would have thought. I haven't seen them, but I would guess probably scores of 98, 92, 99, 91 or thereabouts. There's a couple of rounds you could maybe have gone Quirante's way in there with work rate and intent in the second half of the fight, but it was a clear win for Khudoyan.